I hope you've had a really nice weekend. Today we're going to be identifying nets of 3D shapes. To be successful, you're going to need to use your previous knowledge of 2D and 3D shapes and all of their properties. You're going to be able to reason and explain your thinking and apply all of that knowledge to solve problems. So first of all, I'm going to ask you, what is the net of a 3D shape? Is it the net as in I'm going to fish with? Is it my friend a net? Have a think. So, a net is what a 3D shape would look like if you were to flatten it out. I'm going to spend 30 seconds just reminding you of all of the properties of 3D shapes. But you can see here how I've got my cube, and if I were to unfold and pull apart all of those faces, then it would look like what it is on the right hand side, that cross. So, a couple of vocabulary you're going to need to use today. First of all, I've already said one, faces. I can see faces here are the flat sides of a 3D shape. Edges are where two faces meet. Notice how when I talk about 2D shapes I use sides. In 3D shape in our language is going to be edges. And vertices is where two or more edges meet. So effectively the corners. But we're year 6, we're going to use the proper name vertices. So here is my first question. Which net matches this 3D shape? Fully explain how you know. And I've got here in red a couple of things that I'm going to need to use in my explanation. First of all, I'm going to think, right, what is the name of this shape? Just changing my colour, there we go, right. State what shape it is. First of all, I can see that I have a pyramid, and I'm looking at its base and it's square, so therefore it's a square base pyramid. So this shape is a square based I'm just going to squeeze it on. Square base pyramid. Right. What do I notice about this shape? So let's have a look mainly at its faces. So I can see that this shape would have 1, 2, and then on the other side 3, 4 triangular faces. So this shape is a square base pyramid. I notice that it has 4 triangular faces, and I can see at the bottom here 1 square face and 1 square face. So now I've had a look, I'm going to now look at my nets and see which net suits that. Well, first of all, I noticed that this middle one this one here has no triangular faces at all. So it can't be that one. My one on the right has some triangular faces, but it also has these rectangular faces. Now I've just said that I noticed that my shape, my square base pyramid, has 4 triangular faces and 1 square face. Didn't say anything about rectangular faces. So it can't be that one. Therefore, it must be the first one. Let's double check this. I have my square there, and I have my 4 triangles there. Obviously, you don't need to draw over these so much. I'm drawing over them so you can see clearly what part I'm talking about. So now I'm going to explain why that is the correct net. So this is, I should probably tick it. This is the correct net because, and sometimes rather than saying why that's the correct one, I could talk about why the other two aren't, because net 2 has no triangular faces, and net 3 has no square faces. And I could elaborate a little bit more on that, the fact that it has rectangular faces. There's 3 rectangular faces and I'm only looking for 1 square. I could elaborate and say that it only has 2 triangular faces and I'm looking for 4 triangular faces. I'll just run out of room. But that would be a good enough and long enough explanation to solve this problem. So your task now, both groups have the shape in grey, and then 3 options of which net it can be. You're going to follow the exact same thought process that I went through in red on this screen. So state what the shape is, what you notice about your shape, write that first, then look at your nets, determine which one it is and explain why it is that one. And again, it might be easier to explain why it's not the other one. Once you've done that, both groups have a variety of problems to unpick, looking at using your knowledge of nets, visualizing, unpicking them, making them if you need to, and as per normal, all answers are at the